we were all together to oust Sheikh Hasina from her throne because she had become an autocrat, a dictator, who held on to power by manipulating all democratic administrative systems and wings for more than 15 years. So we are all together to oust Sheikh Hasina to get our democratic and our basic human rights back. We had many reasons to go against Sheikh Hasina apart from democracy and election. She had set a corrupt regime at its worst. But we also came to realize that we were fooled by a group of Islamists, including Hizb ut-Tahrir and Jamaat-e-Islami, who had used camouflages and who had used Dhaka University to use a moral issue so that eventually we all were dragged in. Sheikh Hasina was a dictator. Many had vanished during her regime. But it is also true that we didn't want an Islamist regime, which is taking roots in Bangladesh now. It is taking over all government offices, all semi-autonomous bodies, so that they could anchor their presence as long as they wanted. Their purpose is now clear. They want to demolish all basic principles of freedom struggle that we had in 1971. Socialism, secularism, nationalism, and democracy. They are calling this 2024 July-August uprising as another independence, just to manipulate the common people into rejecting the basic principles of our liberation war. This regime, present regime, doesn't want to try the groups who had carried out atrocities against the law enforcement as well. We understand and we believe that there were law enforcement officers who were being used as tools to carry out barbarism against common protesters. But we also have evidences now to believe that many police officers who were not inclined to any political affiliations were subjected to mass killings as well. Genocide continues. Many opposition activists are being put under helm. Because why? Because the party who were ruling Bangladesh under Sheikh Hasina are now in the opposition. BNP has remained silent, another one of the largest political parties, because BNP believes that if there is any election, they are going to power anyway. But what they don't understand, that the present regime, along with the so-called coordinators, student leaders, have only one thing in mind: to change the political philosophy, ideology, eventually to use even the Western support without them realizing it, to set footing for a caliphate movement. This is where the danger lies. The genocide continues of Awami League activists. And they have already started criticizing BNP and other parties, including Jatiyo Party and the left-wing political parties, because they do not believe in democracy. They believe in a new philosophy where they say they will give equal rights to many, but the equal rights as defined by their own gurus. Most of the coordinators, well, let's not go there, say all of the coordinators who are in real control are Muslims. There is no space for other religious minority groups. They are already flexing muscles. They surrounded the High Court of Bangladesh to force the members of the judiciary to resign when we believe that there were corrupt judges, but that's not the way. They had ousted many teachers from their posts, many government officials from their posts by force. So we believe another fascist regime in power, whereas they are calling all their opposers as fascists. We now demand an investigation into the police officer killings. We demand an investigation of police station attacks that were carried out, because we believe that many of the documents were stolen, many weapons were stolen, which never came back, because they have a more sinister plan eventually, as I said, to set the footing for a caliphate. I believe that the present regime has no intention and to try those who had carried out killings of police officers, because recently the law advisor Dr. Asif Nazrul made it clear that no coordinator, no protester will be tried or even harassed for anything relating to the uprising. That means they have simply sealed the possibility of trying the attackers and killers of general law enforcement officers. So this is a denial of justice, a denial of access to legal representation, a denial of fair trial, which can't be any way of a democratic government. This government is also not an elected government. It is neither a revolutionary government, because the leaders took oath under the constitution. That means Sheikh Hasina is still the leader. So they have also set up a tribunal with questionable judges. One of them is an active member of BNP. They have also made a Jamaati Islami activist who, obviously, like many, did wear the mask of another political party for a while, Tajul Islam, who had defended the war criminals, the Islamists, the fanatics who had supported Pakistani regime during our liberation war. So this Tajul is the chief prosecutor. How does that make sense? How is it not a politically motivated trial that they have prepared to initiate? I am someone who doesn't support Awami League, but at the same time I believe that Awami League should have the right to engage in politics. But they are being denied of that, because that vacuum they want to fill is with an Islamist political party, mainly by Jamaat, along with their supporters. That will seal the possibility of a democratic future for Bangladesh. So it's about time the world should wake up and agree that at least 1,000 police officers were killed, and they have the right, their families have the right for a fair trial and investigation. And genocide continues against Awami League. Awami League is not just a fringe political party. It has at least 30 to 40% of the population support from Bangladeshis. So Awami League can't be banned. Awami League needs to be reformed, which many of the Awami League activists do also believe. So it's about time the world should know the truth. And it is coming out from the mouth of someone who is anti-Hasina. So being anti-Hasina can't be an excuse to carry out atrocities against Awami League activists and denial of justice to the police officers. Thank you.